Hello, and welcome to this episode of Flyby, presented by the National Model Aviation Museum. I'm your host, Claire, and today we're going to be celebrating the bird we give thanks for every Thanksgiving, the turkey. Okay, well, we aren't actually talking about a turkey, but a radio-controlled sailplane named after them, the Gobbler. As a sailplane, the Gobbler doesn't have an engine providing thrust to pull it through the air, so it must rely solely on the lift its wings generate as gravity moves it through the air. The onboard radio equipment allows the pilot on the ground to direct the sailplane to good air to help it stay aloft. The Gobbler was designed by Dwight and Fritz Beam to compete at the 1981 Radio Control Soaring World Championships. At this competition, sailplanes need to perform 3 tasks. They must stay in the air for 360 seconds, fly as many 150-meter laps as possible in 4 minutes, and see how quickly they complete 2 150-meter laps. Points are awarded for accomplishing each task, and the person with the most points at the end of the competition is the world champion for radio control thermal soaring. Dwight and Fritz spent almost 5 years practicing, flying, researching, designing, building prototypes, and testing the Gobbler. They set very clear end goals during this process. The sailplane had to be able to complete all the tasks well under normal, but not optimal conditions. It had to be easy to build. And most of all, they wanted to win. Thanks to all the work they put into the design, that is precisely the aircraft they got. The Gobbler's wingspan is 113 inches. It has a built-up balsa wing over an Epler Series 205 airfoil. The fuselage is 55 inches and is a bit boxy, but that allows for easier access to the stuffing or the radio control equipment inside. Unfortunately, the competitors from the other 21 countries that attended also came prepared. Dwight and his Gobbler were facing down some pretty stiff competition from the Germans, Austrians, South Americans, and the British. You can see by looking at the event pictures in the magazines, Model Soaring's coverage in the January 1982 issue was the best. Take a look. You can see that the model sailplanes differed in design, flares, and extras, but at the base they were very similar. It wasn't aircraft design that was going to win this competition, it was the pilot's skill. Looking at the magazine also reveals how chaotic the event truly was. Up to 9 models could have been flying at any point during the contest. That means 9 pilots and about 18 helpers, all trying to launch and keep planes in the air with judges and timers for each plane. That was a lot of people, and they all would have been speaking in their own native languages. Other pilots and team coaches acted like too many cooks in the kitchen, trying to give both wanted and unwanted advice. And it wasn't just the models that were soaring, but the temperatures too. It was an oven and people were cooked. In this environment, it wasn't just pilots' flying skill that was important, but the ability to carve out a space for themselves and concentrate. Over the first 3 days of competition, Dwight was consistently placing well, but never could quite beat German Werner Voth. Dwight was quiet and stayed out of everyone's way, making it easy to underestimate him. But it wasn't difficult to see that Dwight was intensely engrossed in the task at hand. When he was flying, he demanded absolute silence from those around him, and his focus on his sailplane was absolute. Nothing, not the heat nor the pressure, bothered him. On the final day of the competition, Werner had a large lead, but then he had a bad flight and he wasn't able to recover. Dwight, with his all-around sailplane and excellent focus, turned in a perfect flight and won the contest. All these black and white pictures are a little bland for my taste. Let's add some spice with some color photos. Here's Dwight posing with the Gobbler at the contest. The Gobbler was kitted by Model Engineering of Norwalk a few years later. Sadly, Dwight died soon after its release. To give thanks for his accomplishments, his family came together to donate the sailplane to our museum in 1987. There's a famous, often quoted fact that Benjamin Franklin wanted the national bird of the United States to be the turkey. And turkeys are native to New England. Connecticut native Dwight Hawley certainly gobbled up the competition in 1981 and showed that turkeys can best represent the U.S. on the international stage. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Flyby. As always, please leave your questions, ideas, and suggestions in the comment section. Follow us on social media for updates on current projects, new donations, and behind-the-scenes historical air modeling information. We always appreciate your feedback. If you notice any discrepancies in the information provided or you have additional information, please email us at museum@modelaircraft.org.